Peace, everybody. It's Medicine Man, real quick. I wanted to read a couple of verses out of the Wurkn them Roots. For everybody, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody having a good day. I tell you that much. For the most part, just kind of pretty much sitting there, getting some things in, and looking over the Geechee version I got right now. Um, kind of interesting. I'm reading some verses out of it. Um, yeah, I'm glad you're doing good, Chance. And I'm trying to tell you, this should be a wonderful weekend for everybody. You know what I mean? The weather is good. The stars are in alignment for the most part. I think a lot of people have been having a lot of number revelations also. So that's real important too. To definitely keep up on your numerology, because sometimes we have visions and dreams with certain numerology number signs in them, and we see these numbers like you might be driving to work or something like that, and driving down the street, and you look at the tag of the car in front of you, and you see the number that you had in your dream. You see, that's the part we usually get stuck at. That's the part we get stuck at. We don't know what to do with those numbers. Okay, you dreamt the number, then you ended up seeing it on the tag of the car in front of you. So now what are you going to do with it? You're supposed to go play the number in the lottery. You know what I mean? Maybe look into the stock markets and play that number in the stock market some way, somehow. There's numerous amounts of ways that we can take what we see in the vision and we can manifest it towards a desire. There's many ways we can do it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read some verses out of my Geechee Gullah version, you know what I mean, and see what we can come up with. I just kind of picked a random spot, y'all. The random spot is just something I just opened the book to and got there. So check it out. There we go. In Hoodoo, and yes, I can read. For real talk. I can read. Real talk. In Hoodoo, a root doctor creates the reality in which he can tap into other streams of energy. This is done by taking an organic object and extracting the essence psychically and reshaping it to the will and demand of the worker. For example, a statue is carved with intricate symbols of a tribe. It could be a representation of a once great leader of that society. In many societies, great people are deified, combined with images of animals, stones, or plants. The combined energies are then used by the hoodoo seer to channel information from the divine source. The reason I say divine source is because many African American hoodoo practitioners have various beliefs. We are a diverse people, so it is expected to see diversity within our spiritual framework. The goal is to establish balance amongst ourselves so we can be able to coexist progressively and build on our ancestral science. I thought that was a unique statement that I made in this book about the reality of a root worker. You know what I mean? Oh, yes, the book is now actually on Amazon for sale, for orders. Yeah. You can look it up under Wurkn them Roots. Wurkn them Roots. It's spelled WURKNDEMROOTZ. Wurkn them Roots. It'll come up. Absolutely. But what I was talking about here was how diverse the culture is and the many different beliefs of the various different beliefs of various root workers. And the reason why different root workers have various conceptualizations is because we have different familial family bloodlines. And many of us came from bloodlines where it may have been heavily influenced by West African and specific West African tribes. And then other bloodlines may have been influenced by Central African tribes. Now, we can look at the framework of the African concept of how we practice. The way we practice is based on how our ancestors viewed the world. It's all about worldview. The way you look at the world, the way you look at nature, and the way you look at yourself, and the way that you coexist within this whole framework. That's what's important. And so I think for the most part, what I was saying, getting across, it's a lot to think about when we talk about root workers. And let me read a little bit of it again. In hoodoo, a root doctor creates the reality in which he can tap into other streams of energy. This is done by taking on an organic object and extracting the essence psychically and shaping it to the will and demand of the root worker. You know what I mean? Psychically shaping things. You see? Putting your mind, the power of your mind, because we have to remember our ancestors live within us. So they live within your mind, they live within your body, they live within your habits, they live within your desires. So when we say we psychically trying to shape and mold something, we have to first create the reality in our mind. That's easy. You can think anything up. You can conjure anything in your mind. You know, you can just sit there and come up with something in your mind real easy. But it's taking that thought, taking that visualization, taking that idea and fully activating it. You see? Fully activating that, the force of that thought, the force of that conjuration, the force of that meditation, the force of that trance work. You have to solidify it and project it out. You see? It takes energy work to do those things. And later in the book is where I talk about trance work and energy work and the importance of the energy work in building the power that you need as a root worker, because before you can get into the idea of ingredients and, oh, what is this for? What is this ingredient for? What's that ingredient for? Before you can even get into that, you should understand that you need to develop a certain amount of power. Even in root work, you have to develop power. And your power in root work is by how strong you connect to your ancestors. You see? Ancestral work is really important. For the most part, I'm the type of person that think that ancestral work shouldn't be done alone. It's just my opinion. Everybody got one. But I don't think ancestral work should be done alone, because the ancestral realm, the ancestral collective, is more than just 1, 2, 3 ancestors. They're more than just the ancestors that were born into your bloodline. Hell, we got ancestors that have never came into the world and will never come into the world. They're just our ancestors in the spirit realm. I mentioned that in our book. You know, I talked about it in the book just a little bit, because it's an interesting concept, and we just actually believe that. You know, just where I come from, this is what we believe, that, you know, their spirits just ain't going to come into the world. And they're actually your spirits. Their job is to be protectors and guardians over you in the spirit world. You know, and that's one of the reasons why we sleep. You know, you up a certain amount of time a day, right? How many hours a day are you up? Ask yourself that. How many hours do you sleep? Ask yourself that also. Then you do your mathematical calculations on your life. And that would mean you should add up the times that you sleep versus the times that you're awake. And through the course of years, how old are you? 21, 22, 23? You know, throughout the course of years, you add up the time you sleep and you find out, hey, what the hell? I sleep at least 65% of my life. You see? And you realize that. What it means when you discover that you sleep just as much as you live awake, when you realize you live in 2 worlds, you live in 2 dimensions. One dimension, you're wide awake using your physical body. The other dimension, you use your mind and your soul power, your mojo, you know? So this medicine man, and I just wanted to kick it with y'all for a second. I didn't want to stay long. I wanted to talk about the book, of course, and just kind of kick it with you guys for a moment. I love the support. You know, it's peace to everybody. You know, I really appreciate it. I'm honored, man, to be supported in the way I've been doing it. I'm trying to disseminate a lot of free information for everybody, and just try to get everybody aware of some of the cultural aspects of root working and the cultural aspect of hoodoo, you know what I mean, the real hoodoo, you know, and distinguish ourselves as root workers, as black, Afro, indigenous root workers, separate from the appropriators, you know, the people who play with our culture or attempt to play with our culture, because it's about us elevating ourselves. So this book, Working in Roots, for everybody, of course, it's for everybody to have an understanding on ancestral hoodoo, just an understanding on some of the ways that we think. It's a basic manual. You're not going to look in there and find 5,000 spells and things like that. It's a book designed to teach people how to think like a root worker. Because once you understand how to think, the ingredients, all these ingredient lists that these appropriators pump out here to you, once you develop to think like a root worker, what's going to end up happening is you're going to find out that all those ingredients, you would rather put it in your spaghetti. Okay? So, but for the most part, this is a good book on a basic book for thinking like a root worker. So for the people that's new to root working, new to who to want to find out some things and find out which path they should really take. You know, a lot of times people have ideas about various paths. And what this book here does for us from the ancestral perspective is give you an idea of how powerful our ancestors really were and how powerful we really are. And just giving you a good idea how the root working culture works from a mental perspective. Now in the back, I got some things in the back that I know people gonna like. You know, I put it there. You know, so, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is until you know, get the book and open it. You could be like, now I see what Medicine Man I'm talking about. But enjoy. Y'all have a good day. This Medicine Man, peace. Nothing but love, respect, honor, gratitude. I'm gonna be back, be doing some things in the root worker scene. I'm still up for readings, still doing readings. So hit me up. Peace. Y'all be good. The book is out on Amazon. You know what I mean? Respect. It's on Amazon. Y'all can get it. Peace out. Love and support. Y'all be good.